recording the meeting for tonight, and that is so that those of you who are busy dealing with children and dinner and maybe the end of a long workday can also, and aren't able to attend, can also catch this later. And for those of you who are here who maybe need to step away to deal with things that come up as a busy parent at home, you'll be able to revisit this later to get any information that's missed. I want to start by saying good evening and thank you so much for being here. Truly, this is an unprecedented school year, as many of you know. And while I'm used to being able to have the opportunity to see you all in person and welcome you, we still felt it was very important to have this night and this time to talk about your child's learning and maybe take a break from talking about COVID for once. So I am very excited, and I know the teachers are very excited to connect with you tonight about their classroom learning. So there is some general information that we want to talk about with you and share with you tonight. And so we're going to go through and and I see that Lauren is here as an attendant. She is meaning to be here as a panelist. So thank you, Lauren, for being here. And I appreciate you coming in. I'll see if we can find a way to have you. I know she's here with us in spirit. I wanted to start by saying we began this year, and I love this. The theme for this year is knowing our why. And you've probably heard Lauren address this maybe in a Sunday Wave or one of our town hall meetings. As we get through this school year, this unprecedented time, it's really caused us to stop and pause as educators and think about what's most important and valuable with for our students and for our families. We know that there was a lot of disruption caused by this current pandemic and situation, and the disruption caused us to really think about what's important. I know for all of you, we've thought a lot about our families, we've thought a lot about what is essential in the day, and reprioritize the way we're spending our time and the way we're living our lives. And the same is true at school. As always, we're a reflection of what's going on. So thinking about what children need most in this moment. Welcome, Lauren made it. And also what is most important for us as educators and in supporting you as families. So all through the year, we are going to be digging in deep and not just thinking about what we teach, but also why we teach it and why it's important for our children and these students and their future. So I'm sure as you're sitting tonight and talking to teachers, you'll hear them reflecting on this. Look for this information to come to you throughout the year. I just wanted to take a moment and pause and give you a chance to say, reach up and give yourself a big pat on the back, because parenting in 2020 has definitely been quite a roller coaster ride. I love this image that I think came out of a New York Times article about how it feels right now for many of us to be living and working and learning, for many of you, in the same household. So right now, I've shared with many of you, this was supposed to be my oldest son's year to launch to college and have that first experience. And instead, he is still in the nest with us, cohabitating my office space at home, and along with my junior in high school, and our dog, and various people floating in and out that we need in our core family unit. So we are all learning to navigate this sort of new sense of normal. And I listen to many of your stories, and I hear the stress that we're all enduring, trying to balance these different parts of life and think about things in different ways. So please just know that we appreciate you and all you're going through as parents. And I hope that you hear, Lauren, we've spoke a lot about giving ourselves grace in this time. I hope that you pause to give yourself that moment of grace and understanding, and that this is a challenging time, but we're all going to get through it by partnering together. And the other half of that is reflecting on teaching. You know, it's A funny thing when you've been, and some of you might identify, though many of you are much younger than I am, when you've been in a career path for 20 plus, many plus years, you start to reflect on the fact that, oh, things, I've been there, I've kind of seen this, and we adjust and things get easier. And you kind of feel like, well, we've been through it before. This year has really been something that truly no one I've been talking to, no matter how many years in education you've spent, has been through this before. And we want to really thank, I want to take a moment to just have a tremendous amount of gratitude for our teaching staff. And so you'll see this educator here wearing the cape. They really are the superheroes right now. Teachers are essential. We are part of education, part of what makes the system work. And our staff has stepped up in amazing ways. And especially this week, which was our first full week of hybrid learning in JK through 5th. And that was really an amazing feat because they're working hard to try to be present and create this meaningful experience, both for the students in front of them in the classroom and those that they're teaching at home online. And we're going to continue to refine and fix things as we go along. I know there's always frustrations with technological glitches and Zoom links that don't function. But I really want to encourage you to keep the big picture in mind and partner with us. We will get through this time. And I have had I think probably the highlights of my days has been connecting with my distance learning students on Zoom this week in our little small group check-ins, and just getting to talk to them and get a sense of what's going on in their lives. And I think that connection, even if we can't be together on campus, it's amazing to see the kids here and it's amazing to see them at home. We're about being part of a community. And this is the first time that we have ever been a community who is working in different paths. And so this is a really new phenomenon for the school. I feel extremely grateful as a parent that the school is able to offer these paths. That we're able to offer choices for families. And so I just encourage you to take a moment when you're having those small frustrations and remember that we are all very grateful to be here together and to have those choice and options, and have a lot of gratitude for your teaching staff. They really have stepped up to the challenge. It's a very long, intense day teaching in COVID. And teaching online, as you know, teaching is always part performance art, but especially in this time. So I just wanted to start with that before you go see them tonight. I know many of them were almost falling asleep in their classrooms this afternoon because they were so tired from being plugged in all week. So just appreciation for them and the work and love they're giving to our children. A quick few reminders for our returning to campus students. The first is about face coverings. Just a reminder that every child must come to school with an appropriately sized face covering. I say appropriately sized because face coverings, we know, come in all different shapes and sizes. And just like your child can't wear your pants, they also can't come to school wearing your mask. So if your child's mask is hanging down and it can't fit to their face, it is not doing the right job to protect them and protect others. So please do make sure they have a right-sized mask, and make sure that they know how to adjust it. Practice at home and play around with it. I've been amazed because our junior kindergartners have been on campus now the longest. If a 4-year-old can do it, so can your child. So they've all figured this out, and I know that we can work together to figure that out. We did provide a lanyard at the beginning of the first day that your child came to campus for our kindergarten, first and second grade students. That was last week. We provided a lanyard this week for our third, fourth, and fifth. Please make sure your child uses that lanyard with a face mask. That will help them, that when they need to take the mask down to eat, they don't have to put it down. It keeps it more sanitary. It also helps keep them from losing it. Do know that it is recommended that face masks be washed, so you are going to need more than one. We have been tremendously grateful to have the support of both the state and the local San Mateo County Office of Education and the California Association of Independent Schools. We had a delivery of 2,000 face masks to school to be able to have masks here to lend out to faculty when needed, children when needed. So we have masks on campus. We will be lending them out to your child. Some of you may have had your child come home with a loaner mask on. Know that that's because they were struggling with it during the day, or if they get it dirty, we'll be able to replace it. If your family doesn't have a variation of masks and would need some, please go ahead and email or phone the front desk. You can shoot an email to me or phone the front desk. We'll make sure we send a few masks home that are washable and reusable for your child. We want to make sure that we're all being healthy and safe coming back to campus. And we know that all the CDC guidelines and what we're hearing from doctors around the country is that the science supports wearing a face mask as your first and most important step. Another note about snack and lunch. Snack and lunch looks really different in COVID. Oftentimes when we've sent children, and I spent many years teaching at kindergarten, children would come with quite elaborate lunches that needed a lot of prep and preparation and support. This is not that time where we want to be having to handle children's food. Children are given a space when we're coming together, students are being able to socialize, but they're all distanced, and it's a very structured lunch and snack for necessity. We are eating outdoors, so we are encouraging you to think about, Lauren gave the great analogy of like packing a lunch like you do when you're going to summer camp, right? Where you know your child's gonna kind of need to figure it out on their own. So practice even with your children. If they have really nice reusable containers, bento box style lunches, make sure that they practice eating out of those on the weekend so that they know how to open them, they know how to close them. Packaging, you know, I think about years ago when Capri Suns were really popular, and those infuriating straws that would never quite puncture the pouch. We want children to be able to navigate their own lunch with success. I encourage you that if they have Go-Gurts and things that have wrappers that can be a little tricky to open, and at home they usually use kid scissors, maybe throw a pair of kid scissors in their lunchbox so they just have that handy and ready. We really want them to be able to have a safe and healthy lunch and snack, and we're there to support them, but it helps when they can open their containers on their own. We also want to really make sure they're drinking enough water throughout the day. The teachers have a system in the classrooms for children to step outside. We have hooks outside where they're hanging their backpacks each day, and their water bottle is there so they can go take a water break. So you really want to make sure they come with a bottle of water, especially as we're hitting our warmer fall weather here on the coast. The last thing I just wanted to mention is for those of you who have children who do have nut allergies, we have created a sort of outdoor cafeteria area where all students are eating and tables are disinfected between. We have some designated nut-free tables for those students. So that is one of the ways we're able to make sure that we're keeping everybody safe. All right, this is for all parents. I know we've been getting a lot of questions and people come, and one of the most frustrating parts, I think, about being a parent when something comes up is trying to figure out where to go and who to ask when. What I will say, and every educator I think on campus will confirm this is a time when we are doing more, we are more on during the day than ever before. So I want to remind you to please, if something is really mission critical, that you need an immediate support, if it is non-tech related, because we'll talk about tech in a moment, to phone the front desk, because many of us are not going to be at our computers during the day. We are up and moving and supervising, or we're Zooming. So we're working with both cohorts of students. And so it doesn't allow a lot of time for email correspondence. So please understand that when you shoot an email, it may take us 24 hours to get back to you, 24 work hours. And that's just part of this new normal that we're all very busy. So to be efficient, Leanne Tarling, many of you know Leanne Tarling from many, many years. She was here as an assistant teacher. She stepped in to co-teach JK last year, and she has stepped up to be our face at the front desk. Kathy Greenwald retired after many, many years at Seacrest, as many of you know. And so Leanne Tarling will be manning the front desk with Kate Gatelli, who is a fellow Seacrest parent and who who works as part of our bookkeeping office, is also helping to steward attendance. So when you have to report an absence, a late arrival, or an early departure, we encourage you to use the attendance@seacrestschool.org email. The other thing to note is that we have this Flex Friday schedule for a reason. With the complications and the more complicated drop-off and pickup schedule and routines under COVID, we do encourage you to schedule all appointments that you can and use that Flex Friday for your family to get those times in. If you have to have an appointment during the week, it happens many times with specialists. That's fine if you could let us know the day ahead, because we do need to make arrangements to have someone to get your child, retrieve your child from the class, bring them up to the front and wait with them out on the curb. So it's a little different these days. Any questions, of course, lower school program, distance learning, student support, please direct them to me. Any specific questions about your child's classroom learning, their progress, or their class work, you can direct to the child's classroom teacher. Lauren Miller, as our head of school, is there to answer any big picture strategic questions, strategic planning, anything about school leadership and governance, and is this year really our COVID, overseeing the whole COVID questions and protocols. So if you have questions, suggestions, ideas, please reach out to her. Jackie Cuvier is here. She's also a fellow Seacrest parent and works here and is our point person for all things business and HR related. She is also the person who stewards contracts, tuition assistance, and the payment plan. So if you have questions related to that, she is the first person to reach out to. And this year we are partnering, so thrilled, and I'm going to let Lauren talk about this, with a new company called Techaby. Techaby is here, primarily was really, really necessary for supporting this hybrid for our online learners. So we added this whole layer of administrative support to make sure that our distance learners are being supported and that our teachers who are teaching both on campus and the distance learning are able to focus on the students and not the technology glitches. So I know that's new for us, and we're going to be working through those systems, but we're very happy to offer that. Just a quick note, please look at the class Google site. I know teachers, we've been updating as they're working on Google Classroom and Google Sites. That is your central portal for information about your child's classroom and learning. Sunday Wave goes out every Sunday at 7 p.m. That is going to be where you can look to find school updates and information. And it's very important in a year where there's so much changing and so many moving parts. We really, really want you to be looking and reading that Sunday Wave each week, because there's always going to be some information that's important about what's changing, and we're trying to be very centralized in our communication. I want to encourage everyone, please reach out when there's little problems before they become big ones. That's my rule of thumb. We are here to support your children, and we want your children to be successful and learning, and we know so do you. So our goals are always the same. We work in partnership. Reach out. We encourage you to use email for basic info and questions. It's also the best way to schedule a time to meet with any of us, reaching out initially by email. Lauren and I joked today, the voicemail, yes, we have a voicemail, but I will tell you the way our voicemail system works is it generates a generic email that comes with no context, that just has a voice recording. So in the priority, it's actually better to send an email to us than to try to catch us. The odds of you catching us doing nothing at our desk this year, I'd say, are probably slim to none. So just shoot us an email, and we are always happy to schedule a time to have a conversation via phone, via Zoom, for anything that merits discussion. We know that email is great for a lot of little things, but it's not the best forum to talk through issues and problems. So if you have some things you want to talk deeply about, we're here. Shoot us an email and we'll schedule a time to meet. You're also going to be having a conference every month with your child's teacher as part of our regular schedule rotation. That doesn't mean you can't also schedule things as needed. And I see, I'm going to click really quickly through to the next. I'm going to let Lauren take the lead on talking about our two new exciting partnerships at school. They're here to support our learners. So go ahead, and you. Go ahead, Lauren.
Thanks, Michelle. I just want to give a huge shout out to Michelle and the entire admin team. I want to give you a little picture into a day in the life right now at Seacrest. There is a team of 17 people that are not your homeroom teachers that are helping to operate our distance learning program and our students on campus. These educators, administrators, staff, are everywhere from parent volunteers to admin, all in between. The on-person campus is amazing, and if you've been, you've seen it. But the amount of touch points it takes is really quite remarkable. We're adding it up, and there is 6 hours in the school day where we have over 5 people watching the cohorts in what is called like a duty. That's drop off duty or pickup or lunch or snack or recess. It's a team of people. We also have a team of people coming in to help support technology and really make sure that there's the best foot forward we can make for our students that are learning at home. Michelle is taking hours out of her day to check in with each of our lovely little kiddos that are at home and make sure everyone feels connected. We're giving tons of support to teachers to make sure that they can really navigate operating 2 classrooms at once, the in-person classroom and the distance learning classroom. And I'm blown away every single day at how successful they are. And it really is remarkable. And while there may be little bumps in the road, what Seacrest has really pulled off is nothing short of something for us all to be really proud of as community. With that, part of that investment is tech support. So we partnered with a company called Beehively. You'll see it as Techabee, to support our students, parents, and faculty, everyone with basically 24 hours tech support. They have come in and really helped Ellen Kors and Andrew Geller to take some of the everyday help desk questions off of their load so they can work on teaching and help supporting us at school. And they're really here to offer and always someone there to navigate you through whatever challenge you may have or your student may have. So I highly encourage you to use them. They answer right away. There's a whole bunch of them. There's no judgment on the other end if you can't figure out why your printer doesn't work and it's because it's out of paper. Don't worry. They won't have any sarcasm in their voice when they navigate us all through all of the difficulties that technology has brought. So I really encourage you to, I would even suggest that email support email and the phone support, write it down on a piece of tape and put it on your child's device. So whether you're passing your device back and forth between parents or grandparents or whoever, if there's any point in time that a tech issue comes up, right there on the device is the way to get back online and get back to learning for our in-person and at home. Our other really exciting partnership, and I've mentioned this a few times, is our partnership with Spark. Spark is a whole student learning tutoring service, but it also offers much more robust than that. So Lauren Pappen and Elizabeth Wade are the executive directors, and myself and Michelle and Holly Weaver have had multiple conversations over the last few months with them on the best way to support students. What's really exciting is we want to make sure that all students have the ability to access their education and their learning, no matter what roadblocks they may have. We may have a lot of students right now that are facing roadblocks that are asymptomatic of COVID, of distance learning in the fall, distance learning in the spring, in the fall, just kind of everything that is coming up. So what's really amazing is to be able to partner with a company like Spark. Spark offers a variety of different things, almost a menu, so to say. They're going to really help us in whole group settings, working on executive functioning. You can see this adorable little graphic right here. And if you look at the things on the right, Spark is going to be doing a lot of workshops in your children's classrooms to help with executive functioning, organization, digital organization, which is something very different than kids have had to deal with in the past. Spark is also available to help students one-on-one with tutoring, small group instruction, and things like that. The teachers are the first kind of line of defense. If a student is struggling, a teacher is going to reach out to Michelle, then myself. We will start that conversation with you with Spark. But in this hybrid model, we have a lot of learners that are learning from home. You do have a better viewpoint and a better, you have different eyes on a student when your student is accessing the materials at home. So if at any point in time you feel like they may be struggling, they get off of a Zoom out of every class and they're feeling like they just can't really articulate what they learned or what's going on, I really encourage you to reach out to Michelle and we start seeing if Spark could be a good option for you. Oh, I think I lost Michelle. Oh,
So I just wanted to take a moment. You're going to go off to your teachers. There was an email reminder that I sent earlier today, and the fifth grade, they are sending you a new link on that same chain. So fifth grade parents, please log into your email to look for a new link. That's why I stepped away. I know when a teacher knocks on the door during back to school presentation, that is probably a door I need to open. So that please look in your email for the new link, and everyone else, please look for the email sent, a reminder sent out earlier today or the one sent last week that had the invitation with your class link. Have a wonderful visit with your classroom teachers. I know that you'll find them engaging and get a chance to see the sort of peek into what your child will be learning this year, and I hope you enjoy it. Reach out with any issues and have a great night. Thank you.
thanks, guys.